So here you can see that I'm starting to blend in that blocked in value. So we roughly applied the 6B everywhere where there was like dark value. And now I'm just going to blend it in. I'm using a paper towel for the larger areas. I'm blending it in the direction that the form is going. I'm also being careful not to just like rub over the whole thing. I'm being very strategic about how I'm blending, making sure that I blend kind of one area at a time to keep the lighter values from running into the darker values and getting too muddy. We will be reinforcing this afterwards with accenting with the pencils again on their tips and not blending as much. But this is a way that you can quickly block in the value with blending. So now I'm blending kind of smaller areas that I put in kind of more detailed spots. I'm using a tortillon for this. You could also use a blending stump or Q-tips. So the first thing that I do is I take the tortillon or you blending stump, Q-tip, whatever, and I blend over the places where the graphite was applied. Then I can stretch it out a little bit for the middle values. I want to leave the lighter values open right now. I don't want to add a whole lot of value there. If you do accidentally put some value in your later areas, you can always erase it out. It's not a big deal. But right now I want to just make sure that I'm just blending in areas where there is graphite. If you were to run into an area that needs to have value, that you did not put any graphite in that area, you should add the graphite before you start trying to blend. If you just blend in an area, it gets very smudgy if there's no graphite already there. So it's really important. This is for pulling value, blending value. You want to make sure that you're working up to the edges of forms. So here you can see that I'm blending up to the edge of that petal against the other two petals that are adjacent to it. Here's just a slower, this is like real time as opposed to time lapse, where again, I start by blending in areas where there is graphite, and then I pull that value into areas where there are more middle values to make a nice base layer of value. And so you just want to make sure that you're not trying to go into an area that doesn't have any value applied to it initially. Okay, so blend in the direction of the form. Make sure that you're paying attention to the edges of things, that you're always blending over graphite before pulling it into an area where there isn't graphite.